Levels to this fucking game. Go get an orange juice or an apple juice. Go get an orange juice or an apple juice. Go get an orange juice or an apple juice. Levels to this fucking game. 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 Go get an orange juice or an apple juice.
Fight, Fiend, Forecast. I am Joseph, the host, back for yet another full card prediction show. And this time we're in St. Louis, Missouri, looking to make some money. And I cannot wait for this card. We got a heavyweight clash between Derek Lewis and Rodrigo Nascimento in the main event. Co-main event, Joaquin Buckley is back in action against Nursultan Ruzaboev. This fight card is stacked. In my opinion, low-key, it's stacked top to bottom. And before we get into the breakdowns, we got to talk about last week, UFC 301. And that was a great card for me in Brazil. The locks hit Pantoja and Yo Anderson Brito. And I just got to say, the locks are blocked right now. Along with one other person in the comments. This guy here, he's acting a little mouthy, as you can see. I'm going to pull up this video. He's talking some shit. He tagged me. I was the first tag in this video. He was talking about Pantoja was a bad pick. It was a close fight. Yeah, it was a close fight, but I said at least he was going to win a decision where Usyk could make it close, make it competitive, but at least he was going to win a decision. At all costs, the lock of the week would win the decision. 100% confidence he was going to win. And he's saying that us cappers don't know how to make real money. Something about making money, and that's what it's all about.
You don't know what you're doing. You're not a good gambler. First off, all that shit you were talking about Pantoja, he barely fucking won. He didn't make his point spread. Astro Boy covered his point spread. So I told you, you could take Pantoja by money line if you wanted to. I mean, if that's what you want to do. I thought you was a gambler. I thought you was about making money. I thought for you this was about money. Not your fucking feelings or talking shit or being right or being wrong or running your fucking mouth. I thought this was about the amount of dollars you made. And you made more money. You made more fucking dollars taking Astro Boy plus 5.5 than you ever could have taking Pantoja Menifield. Alright? Levels to this fucking game, children. Levels to this fucking game. Go get an orange juice or an apple juice.
And honestly, this guy's betting 35 cents. I don't know what he's running his mouth for. I put 300 on the locks of the week and profited more money than he did on probably the last couple events. So he can keep running his mouth. I can't be wasting my time with people like this. I can't believe I'm even letting you guys see this little short video he did talking about drinking some apple juice and orange juice. You know I had to bring that along. Fucking goof. Yeah, you can run your mouth all you want, but the fight fiends nowhere to go. The forecasters nowhere to go. I'm consistent with the picks and the locks. If you don't like them, you don't have to agree. I even said that. This is my honest opinion on the picks. If you don't like them, screw you, man. You can take your Usyk plus 3.5, but it's not going to pay out plus 155 like these locks of the week. And Jose Aldo had him by a decision. Last minute bet Anthony Smith by a finish. We had some other bets on here. Great night. We had the Brazilian 6. I gave that out for absolutely free on the props and parlay show. And then I had a little tweak to that parlay. And it hit. No, it didn't hit. It almost hit because Pantoja couldn't get the finish. So yeah, that was a close fight. Pantoja made the fight close. Going into the 5th round, it was tied. Yeah, I was sweating, but the lock still hit. I still got paid big. Bigger than these little 35-cent bets, 25-cent bets. This guy reminds me of my mother. She's betting 50 cents, 25-cent bets, little wagers. You know, if that's what you're doing, that's great, but I'm going big, and that's why I got the Gucci glasses on. You're throwing some shade. I got to stay protected, buddy, and I got some expensive equipment to protect me. So keep running your mouth. I love it. Love to hear it, man. The locks are absolutely hot. Don't forget about that. 7 in a row. I'm giving them out for free. Right now on this show, they are blocked, along with sport bet picks, who is an absolute goof, and I don't need people like that on this channel. You know, it's all love here. We support each other. It's us against the bookies. If you're running your mouth like that, you're getting blocked. And the locks are getting blocked along with you, because I can't be giving out these locks for free. I'm 7 in a row. Giving you plus money locks as well, going 2 locks in one night, 3 locks in one night. So some people don't appreciate it. I'll block them. That's cool. People that really want to get paid and not see little 25-cent bets, they can join my Patreon for $5 a month. That's pretty cheap for seeing big $300 bets cash in, you know what I'm saying? $5 a month is great, great value. You get early access to my picks with the confidence levels, method of victories. They're already out, so you don't have to listen to me ramble on right now. Along with all my bets, we already talked about those. No need to talk about that any longer. And then we got the line movement tracker. So that's another feature that I have for the forecasters, and it's a great tool. It honestly is, seeing where the money's coming in and stuff like that. I love using it when I'm making my bets and stuff like that. It definitely helps. And when you are on Patreon and you've seen the line movement tracker the last number of weeks, you really see the trends. So you can start to see it. If you want to ask me any questions, I'm in Discord. If you're in Patreon, we can chat in there. Give me a message. I will answer. But if you're sport bet picks, I'm not answering. I'm blocking you. You're a clown, buddy. So we're going to get right into UFC St. Louis, looking to make some money here in Missouri. And we got 13 fights. Like I said, stacked top to bottom. And I'm seeing a lot of underdogs on this card. Last week, I hit 1 out of 2. Maybe I can go 2 for 2 this week because I want to lock in 2. Like I said, I have high confidence on this card. And some of the dogs, I have pretty high confidence in too. So we're going to start breaking it down with a women's flyweight bout between J.J. Aldrich and Veronica Hardy. Now, this fight is interesting. Both these girls are coming off 2 wins. But Veronica, in her last fight, was a split decision. She looked pretty good. She managed to get the win against my Canadian, but in this one, I honestly see this underdog putting up a good fight. If you like betting the over 1.5, over 2.5, even the fight to go the distance. I don't see really a finish in this one. I'm not forecasting it. I'm forecasting this fight to go the distance. That is what I will do, because J.J. Aldrich is tough. J.J. actually had a knockout finish, ground and pound, her second last fight against Na Liang, though. Against Na Liang, I understand that, but I think she has more power behind her punches. She's a grinder, aggressive as well. She's pushing forward. I think she can handle shots. I think she can stuff takedowns. And then that leads me to believe she can win this fight. As an underdog, plus 110, I love J.J. Aldrich in this fight. And the next fight we're breaking down is Jared Gooden and Kevin Jousset. Welterweight fight here. I thought Kevin was a lot younger than 31, but I guess not. He's slightly older than Jared Gooden in this fight, who is coming back to the UFC. Remember, he wasn't UFC caliber at one point. He got sent out of the UFC. Jared's first fight back in the UFC, he lost a decision to Carlton Harris, who's 17-5. And then he came out and beat Wellington Turman by submission. Impressive win there. Submission in the second round. But Kevin Jousset, this guy here, he's looking damn good. In his second last fight, he had a finish as well against Kiefer Crosby. That was a submission win by rear naked choke for him. So on the ground, who's better? I would have to lean Kevin Jousset in this fight with pretty high confidence. He's a 3-1 favorite. He's putting in good work. He's been training with some pretty big names at City Kickboxing. I got to think he's more seasoned in this fight. He's a higher caliber. He's obviously been training with the higher caliber fighters, and that is going to lead me to pick him to win in this fight as well. I'm going to have to lean a decision, though, because Jared Gooden is tough, and out of his 9 losses, 7 were decision losses, so he's very tough. And to see a submission happen in this fight, you know, it could happen. A knockout could happen, but I really have to lean a unanimous decision for Kevin Jousset. He's obviously a 3-1 favorite. I don't think he's going to struggle too much in this fight. He's obviously training with the higher caliber fighters, and I believe he will prove he is a higher caliber fighter in this fight. It's going to be a good one. And the next fight I'm breaking down is Jake Hadley against Charles Johnson. Now, Charles, he lost a couple fights by a decision, and then he went out there and beat a great prospect in Azat Mirzakhanov. And this guy's looking like apple juice, honestly, as that. Maybe he wasn't as good as I thought in that fight. Looking at Hadley's last fight, it was a decision loss to Cody Durden, who pushes a great pace as well. Probably a harder pace than Charles Johnson. Charles likes to sit back and just rely on his jab, try to make it pretty, real technical. And I think Hadley's going to push forward, make it dirty, get the fight to the ground. Because we've seen Charles Johnson get taken down a couple times. He does have a good takedown defense, but I have a feeling Hadley will get him down. Maybe lock in a submission. That could be live in this fight. But I honestly do like the favorite, Jake Hadley, in this fight to get back in the win column. Coming off a loss to Cody Durden, he's going to want to prove that he still belongs in the flyweight division. This is a great matchup as well to get the win against Charles Johnson, who does just like to sit back, relax, and pace himself 15 minutes. You know, we've seen the finish for him, but it was against Jimmy Flick. That doesn't hold too much value in my opinion, and he's been going the distance a lot. Jake Hadley has gotten a submission in the UFC. It was impressive as well against Carlos Candelario. So we could see it again. It would not surprise me. Coming off a loss, he's going to be determined to get the win. 5 years younger as well. I think he is the better fighter. He's a prospect on the rise. He's still 10-2. He's going to be learning and growing each and every fight. And coming off a loss, we're really going to see his true potential. Because if he's not as good as I think, he will lose this fight by a decision. But if he's as good as I think, he could potentially finish Charles Johnson. I'm going Jake Hadley in this fight. High confidence. And this next fight in the welterweight division is kind of catching my eye. We got Billy Goff coming back as a plus 140 underdog. Last time we cashed on the Billy bets, and he was an underdog. He got the finish in the first round against Yusaku Kinoshita. That was a phenomenal win. And now he's fighting a guy that's 6'5", with obviously a 5-inch reach advantage, but being that much taller, you know what I'm saying? The bigger they are, the easier they fall. I like betting against these big, tall guys. Remember Austin Lane? I just see Billy Goff landing a big shot in this fight. As a dog. Trey Waters, man. 8-1. He lost to Gabriel Bonfim on the Contender Series. Came back in the UFC and got a win. I think Billy Goff is levels ahead, especially when it comes to wrestling. This guy can wrestle. He can really do some dangerous ground and pound when the fight gets to the ground. Trey showed that he didn't have a whole lot of finishing potential against Josh Quinlan there. And Billy Goff, in my opinion, is a beast. He won his last 7 fights, 6 by finish, 4 in the first round, and all of his finish come by knockout as well. He has never gotten a submission win. And Trey Waters has been submitted 1 time. His only loss. Looking at his amateur results, he got submitted twice in the first round. Is this the first time that Billy Goff can get the submission? He's going to be the better wrestler. He's going to have the better center of gravity. Being the shorter fighter, I like that. You know, he's not going to fall as easy. The taller they are, the easier they fall. Like I say, I think Trey Waters is going to fall or get taken down and get finished in this fight. I'm taking the underdog. Pretty high confidence. Plus 140. Are we going to lock it in? Join Discord absolutely free to find out. And next up, we got Tabatha Ricci, my girl, my auto. And she's a slight favorite against Tecia Pennington.
Levels to this fucking game. Go get an orange juice or an apple juice.
And I'm just sucking back this apple juice and orange juice right now on this show. I got to prove a point.
You're like the 42-year-old virgin talking about...
I'm 24. I'm not 42, by the way, right? So get that right, you 30-year-old virgin. So Tecia Torres is 5 years older in this fight. She just got married, had a baby. I think she's motivated. Slight underdog. Both these girls match up pretty good. Same reach, same height, same stance. Both coming off a split decision loss. But who fought the better fighter in their last fight? We got to figure that out. Mackenzie Dern or Lupita Godinez? I got to think Mackenzie Dern is slightly better. And Tecia did look good in that fight. coming off a loss with all that experience. She knows how to bounce back. Right now, for the Platinum members, she is my pick. And I don't love it. It's low confidence. I don't love it. Tabatha, in my opinion, just has a low striking accuracy. Her volume is high, but it's, concerning when you can't land your strikes. When you're fighting a girl with this much experience who can land her shots with high accuracy, high volume, and push forward, motivated, coming off a loss. Both of them are coming off a loss, but being 5 years younger in the women's division, I think Tabatha has more to learn. A lot more to learn. She was getting a lot of takedowns stuffed in her last fight. Her last couple fights, she has seen some trouble getting those takedowns. I think Tecia Torres can stuff those takedowns in this fight. She can have a better striking accuracy, like I said. That's the main reason. I think this fight is going to take place on the feet, and Tecia Torres is going to be the better striker. Now, it's low confidence, like I said. She's a slight dog. I have to get one back from last week because Carolina, she got dominated, but Ernesta, she made that fight close. I thought she would have won the fight. I thought she should have won the fight. I gotta get some money back from that 4-1 underdog. Better by a decision. It was so close. She deserved it. I know she did. So I'm going with JJ Aldrich and Tecia Torres. They're only slight underdogs though. So I might have to parlay them together. It's early in the week. It's only Tuesday. Tecia Torres Tuesday. Ooh. Tabatha Tuesday, though. Yeah, I have more research to do on this fight. Tecia Torres on Tuesday is my pick. But Tabatha on Tuesday has me feeling like this fight is going 15 minutes. It's going to be competitive. And it's a 50-50 fight. Bookies agree. And now we got a fight between Terrance T-Rex McKinney and Esteban Ribovics that is bound to be a finish. If it goes the distance, well, goddamn shit. I'm probably going to lose some money because this underdog might be one I lock in. Take the key and turn it. Lock it the fuck in here because T-Rex is coming to bang. His last 2 wins, very quick first round. Level of competition, not the best, but Esteban Ribovics, coming off a win against Samuel Leclerc, doesn't impress me. He really doesn't. Prior to the UFC, he had a lot of finishes in the first round as well. So if he wants to stand and bang with Terrance, he's going to have to find out, right? Fuck around, find out. I don't think he's going to like what's coming his way. I don't think he's going to know what's coming his way with Terrance. Esteban's prior opponents were in a different promotion, Samurai Fight House, FFC, and they were 17-6, 6-6, 21-6, 4-5, 2-2, 2-0. This was prior to the UFC. And then he lost his debut to Luik Radzdabov. I don't think he's really the guy to beat Terrance on this win streak. He won his last 2. His last fight, he finished in 20 seconds with a flying knee. He comes out of the gate looking for a fight, looking for the finish, fighting for your money. His durability isn't bad either. He went to the second round with Nazim Sadikov before getting submitted. In my opinion, Esteban cannot get the finish by submission in this fight. Terrance would be more likely to get the submission win. Coming off 2 knockout wins, he's due for a submission. He submitted Fares Ziam, Eric Gonzalez, both in the first round as well. So coming off 2 knockouts, he is due for a submission. I think Ribovics on the feet is going to try to test out his power, his accuracy, and it might fail him. He does have 5 submission wins though. But like I said, the level of competition, very low. Like super low. Like Brendan Marat was 8-1. That's low competition to me because he's green. He's fighting his first fight in the UFC. But Esteban Ribovics, I listed them off. They're horrible. Not very good wins. So, lacking a 5-inch reach advantage. I think he's going to get sparked, finished in the first round, if not the second. It has to be the first, though. Terrance, as an underdog, is potentially my most confident underdog on the entire card. Along with Billy Goff, these 2 boys are going to come to bang, and I will be forecasting those finishes to come sooner rather than later in the fight. I'm predicting the first goddamn round in those fights. And next up, we're breaking down a lightweight fight between Chase Hooper and Viacheslav Borshchev. And this is going to be a banger. Chase Hooper, though, his striking has been a little bit sus. He got knocked out to Steve Garcia. In the first round, he got rocked. He got smoked, honestly. And against Viacheslav Borshchev, who is a phenomenal striker, has tons of power, knocked out Mahachete, knocked out Frank Bush's cousin there, Dakota Bush. He's proven that on the feet, he has some power. He's very technical, and he's so sharp as well. High IQ. But Chase Hooper has a high fight IQ as well. He also has a 5-inch reach advantage. He's a lot taller, a lot younger too, 8 years younger, on the ground, has an advantage, can get that submission at any point. In his last fight, he looked dominant, but it was against Jordan Leavitt. Now, I don't hold too much credit in that win. Jordan Leavitt, man, he is 11-2. It looks all right, but his level of competition is pretty low. And before that Jordan Leavitt fight, Chase Hooper beat a guy, Nick Fiore, who's 6-1. A little bit green, but he got the win by a decision. You know, it was a close fight. If this fight's going to be close, if it's going to be on the feet, I favor Borshchev. He is a slight favorite, but honestly, there's some money coming in on Chase Hooper. I see why. I almost made him my pick, but I don't think I can trust his chin. That's what it's going to come down to. I do believe Viacheslav is the better striker. He has more power, and if he puts it on Chase Hooper, he can really put him away. Chase Hooper is going to prove to us if he's been working on the striking, if he can compete with these big guys in the lightweight division, because Borshchev's a big test for him, in my opinion. I'm taking Borshchev for the win, and I'll give you a prop too. I think it's going to be first or second round knockout. It's going to be a good one.
Levels to this fucking game. Go get an orange juice or an apple juice.
If you like apple juice and orange juice, smash that like button and suplex the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. All the real ones in the chat commenting each and every week. You know, I can't thank you enough. Each and every week, like coming back, listening to my goofy ass gift predictions. It really means a lot. Liking the video. I put a lot of work into the custom content. And actually, before we get into the main card, let's talk about last week again. Talk about some comments. I'm going to pull up the video here. Now, the dog of the weeks. I had to make a pick. I had Elfsbrenner. It didn't go my way. It happens, man. I'm not going to have every pick right. And I'm okay with that because Jose Aldo looked damn good. And he made me some money by a decision. I said he was my most confident underdog out of the two. If you listen, if you really do listen to what I say, he was my most confident dog of the week. He was on the Brazilian 6. Elfsbrenner was not. So we cash in. We go big, we cash in, and we trust in our instincts. So that's why I bet $300 and not 25 cents. Because I put in the work, I trust my instinct, and I pretty well know I'm going to win before it hits. So you got to trust yourself. You got to put in the work. You can't just be listening to 15 people and go with what they say. And last week, the new forecaster was Sloan Jr. He said, damn, you cashed on that 6 leg. Nice. I said, hell yeah, I did. My most 6 confident Brazilians on the card. So I gave them out for absolutely free. And that was like $400 profit. So take that 400 win if you put the 25 on it. Join Patreon, $5 a month. And another commenter, Onam. I'm curious now how Mikael Pereira is going to win. Knockout or submission? I said he's been knockout, sub, knockout, sub. He is due for the knockout. That's what the trend was saying. You know, looking at it, knockout, sub, knockout, sub. The next would be knockout. But I had a feeling he was going back to the sub. So that's why I said I liked the round 1 prop. And that was because I wasn't sure if he was getting the knockout or submission. And the finish, there was no value. Zero. None. There was no value on his money line. There was really only value on that first round prop. I said it was high confidence. So hopefully you listened. Onam, hopefully you listened, buddy. Another commenter, Beard, infamous, such a good card. Wow, I didn't realize Urseg was plugging Patreon now. Yeah, he plugged away, man. He plugged away for us. You know, last leg Pantoja. Little sweaty. You know, people trying to throw some shade. Urseg plus 3.5 points. None of that, man. Pantoja money line. Cash is some big bags. Big bags. Big bags. Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it with the main card. We got Draft Goon as well. Love the intro. Everybody loves the intros. I try to make them entertaining. Before we get into business, we gotta have some fun, right? So, let's get to it. Main card. 6 fights left. Waldo Cortes-Acosta is gonna face off against a 6'7" heavyweight. Robelis Despaigne. This guy here has phenomenal credentials, high-level credentials. In his last fight, we took him. We took him for the win in the first round. We were worried in the future. If he fought higher-level guys, he might not pass the test. But I'm not worried. I'm not fucking worried. Waldo Cortes-Acosta fights off his jab. The only guy he knocked out really is a bum. Andre Arlovsky, an old guy like that, couldn't get the finish? Are you serious, bro? Coming off a finish win with momentum, couldn't get another knockout win there? I think he's due for a loss. You know, he has lost in the UFC. He suffered his only loss inside the cage against Marcos Rodrigo de Lima. A big boy, 20-8, lost a decision there. Now, de Lima got takedowns, control time. Despaigne can't do that in this fight. He can't do that. He ain't like that. He's going to need that first round finish. He's going to have to put it on Waldo Cortes-Acosta. And where was Waldo before the UFC? He was boxing, and he got knocked out in the first round. His last fight, boxing against Sonny Conto. He got knocked out before that in the 4th round. So both these knockout losses came in 2020, 2021, both in boxing, heavier mitts on. He can be knocked out. And given the fact that he can be knocked out, I think he's getting knocked the fuck out to Robelis Despaigne in the first round. Massive reach advantage. 6 inches. He has lots of room to work in a big cage in St. Louis. Crowd's going to be going crazy. And at 35, Cortes is 32. You got to think Robelis is in a spot matched by the UFC to get the win and move up the ranks. Because this guy against higher level competition is going to be exciting. He could be fighting Derek Lewis. And next up, we got a fight in the featherweight division between Alex Bruce Leroy Caceres and Sean the Sniper Woodson. And in my opinion, this fight is a little bit sticky. And it's because Alex Caceres beat a guy in Daniel Pineda by a decision who has a lot of finish wins. Very good win for him. And then he beat Julian Arosa before that with a head kick. A lethal head kick. And coming off a loss against Giga, he's going to be due for a big performance. Now, Sean Woodson hasn't impressed me lately. He's my pick right now, but I really don't love it. He went the distance with a debut in Dennis Bazooka where he lost a round for sure. And he didn't look the best in my opinion. In that last fight, he won by a split decision in Canada. Did he really win? It was super close. It was very close. And this fight is probably going to be even closer. So the underdog might have to be the pick. But he is fighting the hometown fighter from St. Louis, Missouri in Sean Woodson. That's why Sean has to be the pick. I got to think he can get this done by a close decision. Better accuracy, staying at range. He is 6'2". He's going to be slightly taller. 4-inch reach advantage, though. It might help him. I think he can stay at range and snipe Alex Caceres. Not getting the knockout finish, but getting another split decision win. Where he's from St. Louis, Missouri. They got to set up some of these boys to get the win. I think we got Joaquin Buckley from St. Louis as well. Did I talk about or predict anybody from St. Louis already? I do not believe. If not, I'm sorry. I don't believe anybody else that I already forecasted is from Missouri. It was just Sean Woodson and Joaquin Buckley. But if I'm wrong, if there's more than 2 from St. Louis, let me know in the comments below. Love to hear from the forecasters. So, for the pick, I'm going low confidence here. Sean Woodson by a decision. It's going to be sticky. And the next fight I'm forecasting in St. Louis, Missouri is Diego Ferreira and Mateusz Rebecki. Rebecki 19-1, the biggest favorite on the card. Almost a 4-1 favorite now. 8 years younger, lacking an 8-inch reach advantage though, where that might hurt him. On the feet, Diego is no joke. He's fought the who's who. He has a lot of power. Proved it in his last fight against Michael Johnson, where he was coming in after 2 years away and looked better than ever. And at 39, I don't know if we can count him out. Rebecki, though, at 31, I can count him in. He's been fighting some pretty low-level guys, though. Roosevelt Roberts coming in after losing on The Ultimate Fighter. Gets handed Rebecki. Just a terrible matchup for Roberts, obviously, and a setup fight for Rebecki to get a huge win in the first round to make him look dominant. Is he really that dominant, though? That's what we have to figure out. We have to be careful when the bookies have these big favorites, because I don't want to get stung when there's a big price tag like this. This fight's another sticky one. I'm not bringing out the tape, but, you know, someone might get finished. Rebecki on the ground has great submissions, but Diego has great submission defense. Mateusz Rebecki will need, in my opinion, a big decision win. And he's going to have to show that he's durable. He can handle some shots. He's going to have to prove a lot in this fight to me. Because fighting Roosevelt Roberts, knocking out Loic Radzhabov with that left hand, and winning the decision against Nick Fiore is going to get me to lock you in and put you in parlays. I'm not sure if it's enough. I'm not sure if I'm that confident. I'm pretty confident you'll win, but at this price, with a guy that fought Beneil Dariush and lost the decision, he also fought Mateusz Gamrot and got knocked out, and he also got knocked out to Gregor Gillespie, right? His chin has been not holding up, but that was 2 years ago. He came back and looked damn good against Michael Johnson, but at the end of the day, Michael Johnson's old, slow, defense not the best. You got to think, Mateusz Rebecki at this price will wear down Diego Ferreira and get that knockout. He knocked out Loic Radzhabov with that overhand left. He throws with power, big looping shots at times, but if one lands, Diego Ferreira could be lights out. He's been knocked out in his last 2 losses, and if he wears a big shot from Rebecki, probably wouldn't surprise me if he goes down. So, I'm going Mateusz Rebecki. Medium confidence for a knockout finish in the second round. This fight could go either way, though. Let's be careful on these parlays. And next up, I got Alonzo Menifield and Carlos Ulberg. Time for a sip of apple juice.
Levels to this fucking game. Go get an orange juice or an apple juice.
Got to keep that liquid courage in you. Doesn't matter if it's apple juice, orange juice, prime, monster, water, vodka, beer. Get that liquid courage in you. Stay hydrated. We got Alonzo Menifield and Carlos Ulberg going to work here in the light heavyweight division. And Alonzo's 36. He's getting old. He's a little bit slow, very technical. He's very technical, and looking at him, he has a ton of power. In his last fight, he just managed to win a unanimous decision against Dustin Jacoby. You know, making Jacoby miss, being accurate, probably because he was a little bit scared of the power, but Ulberg being this big, knowing that he has power and has the advantage, will probably not be too timid in this fight. He'll probably push forward, be technical. He could win a decision. He has a lot of finishes, but in that last fight against Da Wun Jung, he made it close, got the 3rd round finish by submission. Super unusual for a knockout artist, but he just managed to get it done. It probably would have been a decision win for him, so I could see a decision win for Carlos Ulberg in this fight. I'm not looking to play the props. I'm not going crazy on him for a knockout finish. Alonzo could get knocked out. He's been knocked out only once before in his 3 losses, and it was to Ovin St. Peru. Not that impressive. And his other 2 losses, William Knight by a unanimous decision and Devin Clark by a unanimous decision. That was in 2021 and 2020. He won his last 4, submitted Jimmy Crute in the 2nd round by a guillotine, knocked out Misha Serkinov in the 1st round. I think he is very due for a loss. Probably by a decision, considering his last 3 losses 2 of them come by a decision. I think Carlos in his last fight was struggling just a bit. If he can't find the knockout, he just wins it by a decision cleanly. And Alonzo is not the easiest guy to knock out. He's been knocked out once. To Ovince St. Preux, yes. So maybe the knockout's liver than I believe. But, at 140, Carlos Ulberg is up there for a lock of the week play. It's high confidence. And I think it's a good price too. 3-1 for Carlos Ulberg. I thought it could be 4-1 potentially. But 3-1, I might even take that, lock it in. I think he wins. Either by a decision, kind of like the Pantoja situation. He could get the finish. Worst case, Ontario, he wins a decision and gets his hand raised. I'm going Carlos Ulberg, high confidence. And the next fight is the co-main event between Joaquin Buckley from St. Louis, Missouri, and Nursultan Ruziboev. Ruziboev is a good dog. He's a beast. He has 12 knockout wins, 20 submission wins, and only 2 decision wins. He is a beast. The stats prove it. 6 decision losses as well out of those 8. So he's not getting finished too often. Now, Buckley, his 6 losses, 4 of them are by knockout. Now, not a great look. He's been knocked out a few times. And Nursultan is a beast. He's going to be a lot taller, but the reach advantage is the same. So I got to think Buckley can hold his own and prove that he's at a higher level than Nursultan Ruziboev. I know that this is going to be a very, very popular underdog this week. I could be wrong. I could be very wrong, but, Buckley fought a month ago, looked damn good. Nursultan looked damn good a month ago against Cedric Dumas as well, but it's Cedric Dumas. Fucking Ceddy Dumas, man. Buckley just beat up and knocked out a very well-equipped, experienced Vicente Luque. Was a underdog in a big spot, and he didn't struggle at all. He looked like a beast, and this is going to be a good fight. Great co-main event fight, but I got to think the hometown boy gets it done. And because Ruziboev has 6 decision losses out of his 8, I think Buckley could win a decision. He loves his big moments, getting that knockout finish, which could totally happen. The bigger they are, the easier they fall. 6'5", he's going to fall a lot easier than some people expect. But, Buckley, man, his chin knocked out 4 times in his 6 losses. You never know. On the ground, Buckley will not get submitted. He has a good submission defense. He's a good wrestler. This fight is super interesting. I don't really know what's going to play out. I can't say this is a high confidence pick for me. So if you agree, that's completely okay. It's us against the bookies. It's completely fine if you disagree on this one. But I'm going with Joaquin Buckley for the win at home here. And the main event fight, this is fireworks between Derek Lewis and Rodrigo Nascimento. This is the second fight now that we have a fighter at 39 years old against a fighter at 31. That's an 8-year discrepancy. Derek Lewis has obviously the most knockouts in the UFC. He's going to have the heavier hands. He doesn't have the cardio. He can get taken down very easily. But Nascimento, bro, he got knocked out to Chris Daukaus. Derek Lewis flatlined him. Nascimento went the distance with Tanner Boser and Alir Latifi and beat them both by a split decision. So he's proven that he's not getting a bunch of takedowns in control time. He's not beating fighters easily. So why in the world would I believe he's going to beat Derek Lewis? Or get out of the first round with Derek Lewis? If Derek Lewis cannot win this fight, it's time for him to hang them up. He's done. Because Nascimento, this has to be one of the most set up fights for Derek Lewis that I've ever seen in my career forecasting. Nascimento's last loss was a knockout to Chris Daukaus, and Derek Lewis's second last win was to Chris Daukaus, where he put him on a chair in the first round, proving that he's a much better striker with way more power. It's not even close. It should be 3-1, 4-1 for Derek Lewis. He's going to knock him out first round. Easy work. You got to give Derek Lewis an easy matchup, though, at one point, because he's been fighting killers. Went the distance with Jailton Almeida in his last fight. And then he lost to Sergey Spivak, an up-and-comer. Lost in the first round where he got taken down and then submitted. tied to Avasa, got knocked out there. They were swinging at each other. It could have went either way. And then he lost to Cyril Gahn. Nascimento has not fought that level of competition. He's coming off a win to Don Tail Mays. For Christ's sake, you're not taking this underdog. You're not being serious if you're taking this underdog. Because Patreon, Discord are going to have access to the locks of the week. They're not going to be blocked for too long, because as soon as they get crafted up, they're in Discord with a full description. And this week we are locking in and keeping the streak hot. I'm 7 in a row, and I'm shaving my head if they don't hit. I was going to do a pants beer if they didn't hit, but this week I'm shaving my head if the locks don't hit. I love my luscious hair. I'm going to snip it off if the locks don't hit. If the streak ends, the hair gets snipped. That's just what it is. I expect the streak to stay hot, though. And I might take 3. Make it 10 in a row. That might be too greedy, but let's make it fun. Let's get paid. Let's make some money in St. Louis, Missouri. This is real sport bet picks here. Although Matthews over there and fucking Vegas Golden Knights entire roster shit the bed, I'll bounce back. I'll hit some more sport bets. The NBA and NHL are in playoffs right now. It's in the second round. Lots of opportunities. And for $5 a month in Patreon, I have all sport bets. So a lot of people love seeing the sport bets along with the line movement tracker, the platinum picks for the UFC. My specialty is the UFC, but you got to do some real sport bet picks on the side. Do a little wager in there. Just very little wagers, though. That's nothing too serious. Just small wagers, 25 cents. That's all we're doing around here. Fucking Goof has me on here drinking apple juice and orange juice. I hope you enjoy the show. I hope you enjoy my picks, because if you don't, you better go buy some sunglasses. Not because I'm the one throwing shade, because I'm the one that's going to get you burned. Thank you for watching the Fight Fiend forecast. Tuning in for another video. We'll be back, ready to go for the props and parlay show. Have it out earlier than Friday, so then the forecasters and Fight Fiends can start chasing after that money in Missouri. Let's go get it. We'll see you soon, forecasters.
Levels to this fucking game. Go get an orange juice or an apple juice.